Prajapatir Dharmapatir Ekada Niyaman Yaman Bhadram Prajanam Anvichchan Atishtat Swarta Kamyaya. Translation. Thus, once upon a time, the forefather of living entities and the father of religiousness, Lord Brahma, situated himself in acts of regulative principles, desiring self-interest for the welfare of all living entities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. One cannot be situated in an exalted position without having undertaken a regulative life of rules and regulations. An unrestricted life of sense gratification is animal life. And Lord Brahma, in order to teach all concerned within the jurisdiction of his generations, taught the same principles of sense control for executing higher duties. He desired the welfare of all as servants of God, and anyone desiring the welfare of the members of his family and generations must conduct a moral, religious life. The highest life of moral principles is to become a devotee of the Lord, because a pure devotee of the Lord has all the good qualities of the Lord. On the other hand, one who is not a devotee of the Lord, however qualified he may be in the mundane sense of the term, cannot be qualified with any good quality worthy of the name. The pure devotees of the Lord, like Brahma and persons in the chain of disciplic succession, do not do anything to instruct their subordinates without acting accordingly themselves. Prajapatir Dharmapatir Ekada Niyaman Yaman Bhadram Prajanam Anvichchan Atishtat Swarta Kamyaya. Thus, once upon a time, the forefather of living entities and the father of religiousness, Lord Brahma, situated himself in acts of regulative principles, desiring self-interest for the welfare of all living entities. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadeshatarne Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha, patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, well, continuing the story of Lord Brahma, and you could say his adventures in self-realization, God realization, and getting out of the quite incredible situation that he found himself in, alone at the beginning of the universe. Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing and it's wonderful. It's amazing because what he did you could say it was so difficult, such an extraordinary situation he found himself in, alone in the whole universe. And then suddenly a voice comes from nowhere, or who knows where, from who knows whom. And then he took it that, yes, this is meant for my benefit. So he did what the voice said. And then the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared before him. And as stated elsewhere, somewhere elsewhere, maybe it was earlier even in this chapter, but not these verses we've been reading the last so many days. The Lord suddenly appeared. The Lord was not there apparently, but then suddenly, the Lord just appeared in front of Brahma. And the Bhagavatam describes that the Lord walked up to him and shook his hand. Can you imagine? Hardly, but that's what happened. Among many other things, it shows that this practice of shaking hands is bona fide. It comes from the Supreme Lord himself. But at the same time, it's just so, how could you say, unexpected, and there's just no. Lord Brahma must have just been in complete awe, his mouth open, just in astonishment at all these things which are happening, and finally culminating in the Lord appearing, and finally culminating in the Lord instructing him. So Lord Brahma, he, having been instructed by the Lord, we heard those instructions. They're very fundamental, foundational instructions which are applicable for any devotee. Not just applicable for any devotee, but every devotee should or must follow those instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, culminating, we read in verse 36, that a person who is searching after the absolute truth, the Lord, must certainly search for him up to this means just like completely, without any distraction in terms of searching for something else, like searching in the newspaper, where can we find the best specials, or this sort of thing, very popular type of program. How to get some sort of good deal on some pretty insignificant material thing. But yes, everyone who wants to understand the absolute truth and find the absolute truth must make the absolute truth his or her only interest in life, in all circumstances, in all space and time, meaning in Flack or in Port Louis. Yes, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, even in Flick on Flack, just in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. That's an interesting idea. In whatever you do, You must directly search for the Lord. Where is the Lord? I want to find him. As George Harrison sang, I really want to see you. I really want to be with you, but it takes so long. My Lord, my sweet Lord. And Srila Prabhupada, apparently, we're told, said that this is a song in separation from Krishna in the mood of Srila Sanatana Goswami. So we shouldn't underestimate it. So both directly and indirectly, even when we're dealing, if we are dealing with something else, but it must be in terms of the absolute truth, both directly and indirectly. No other interest other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Brahma, having been instructed, he did that. And the way in which he did that was in relation to all living entities. He didn't just think, well, I got the information, so I'm going to do it for me, and that's it. And I'm not going to do it for anyone else. Let other people worry about themselves. I will take care of me. Not like this, but rather Lord Brahma, part of what he sort of took away from this whole experience, or these whole experiences, was that I have to do this for the benefit of everyone. Benefit of my family members, Narada Muni, his son. Yes, and for the benefit of all humans and all living entities. So, this is just extremely instructive. You know, in regard to how he taught this, how he desired the welfare of everyone as servants of the Lord, we should understand that I tell you, these bugs, they're amazing. But anyway, we have read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, at least let us put it that way, that if someone in their search for the absolute truth, or their efforts to cultivate knowledge of the absolute truth, of trying to find and trying to serve the absolute truth, if they don't give it to others, they can't have it themselves. This is a very important point. If you don't try and give it to others, you can't, even though you may be doing everything in order to have it for yourself, but you won't be able to have it for yourself. This is part of the picture of Krishna consciousness. Yes. So, therefore, first point Prabhupada makes really, anyone desiring the welfare of themselves, or of members of their family, or of just anybody and everybody, must conduct a moral, religious life. If you don't do that, then you can't be successful. Even though Lord Chaitanya is famous as Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the most fallen, if someone remains the most fallen, saying that Lord Chaitanya instructs us that he's the deliverer of the most fallen, therefore I must be as fallen as possible, in order to be delivered. But if they don't come to the point of a moral religious life in Krishna consciousness, then again it will be a failure. Or if not a failure, but it will take a long time. It'll be extremely difficult to get oneself out of Maya. So, but a very important point which Prabhupada then emphasizes here, that when we want to understand what are moral principles, then the highest moral principle is what? Devotees. The highest moral principle. What is it? No intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating, no this, no that. What's the highest moral principle? Thank you. To become a devotee of the Lord. It's right here in the purport, actually. Become a devotee of the Lord. Because a pure devotee has all the good qualities of the Lord. We read how the pure devotees have all the good qualities of the demigods. That's there in one of these verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. But now here Prabhupada's saying is that a pure devotee has all the good qualities of the Lord. Whereas a person who's not a devotee, even though they appear to have good qualities, they don't actually have good qualities. Prabhupada says they cannot be qualified with any good quality worthy of the name. Just see how strongly Prabhupada is expressing himself. You may feed the hungry. You may clothe the unclothed. You may see to the education of the uneducated. You may try to protect those who are in danger, but it's a waste of time. It's not actually something which is, Prabhupada says, worthy of the name of being a good quality. Because all these activities, independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they're all temporary. First of all, they're all temporary. So therefore, if you try to feed the hungry, not with prasadam, we're not talking about Krishna conscious activity, but just feeding, giving some food to the hungry, then on the surface it may appear good. But the end of it, what is the end of that activity? The person ends up hungry again. This is the end of the activity. Unless you just keep on and on. Well, even if you do try to keep on and on and on and on feeding them, to maintain, some standard of goodness in that sense. But either you will die in due course of doing that, and your program for feeding the person will end because you have ended, or they will die and go on to their next life in who knows where. And they will not be around for you to feed. So in whatever way we try to do materially good things for people, in the end at least, our efforts will be a failure. Yes. and even having, well, yeah, our efforts will be a failure. And if we try in other ways also to help them, the same principles will apply. That either we'll become unable to help them, if nothing else, it could be in different ways, we'll become unable. Or if nothing else, because we die, or else they'll die, and then that's it, and we cannot help them. Whereas helping people in Krishna consciousness is such a different thing, that even you feed a person prasadam one time, and for the rest of your life or the rest of that person's life, you never feed them prasadam again. Then, just by your having fed them prasadam one time in the past, they will get the opportunity to become Krishna conscious. They will get the opportunity. Hare Krishna, ISKCON, Petty, Raffray, and all, and them. Hare Krishna. Suswagatam, bienvenue. Yes, so like this, Krishna consciousness, even if you don't do anything to help anyone in the future, just by having done that for one person, you will have given them infinite benefit. So like this, Krishna consciousness is unique, whereas any material activities are sort of uniquely useless in terms of helping people. Yes. So, and also an extremely important point Prabhupada makes, that the pure devotees like Lord Brahma, those in his line, they don't do anything to instruct their subordinates without doing it themselves. They're not armchair philosophers who just sort of extrapolate and explain that we should improve the world in this way or that, but they're just sitting in their chair and they don't do anything. Devotees are never like that. Devotees always act themselves in terms of their instructions to others. So like this, the position of the devotees is just unique and uniquely perfect, whereas the positions of the non-devotees are just, what would you say, just doomed to hopeless imperfectness. Yes. So therefore, first point, if we want to become moral, if we want to become good and help people and help ourselves, then what should we do? Become pure devotees. That's right. Otherwise, any other effort, the end result will be a waste of time. So there you go, devotees. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Any comments or questions? What about from Petty Refrain? Or Love Ensure, is that where you live? Huh?
It's Balu.
Balu. Balu.
Balu.
Balu. Okay. Huh?
It's B-A-R-F-O-W. Balu.
B-A-R.
F-O-W.
S-O-L-O-W. Balo.
Ba and Lu.
Balo or Balu. Anyway, call it what you like. But you need Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, any efforts will be doomed to failure. Yes, ISKCON Bhavo.
I would like to know what would be the resulting benefit of a person even unknowingly taking prasadam just once.
Okay. Yeah. You know, there are different possible benefits from taking prasadam just once unknowingly. There are different possible benefits. The greatest possible benefit is that they may go back to Godhead. They may. But if they don't, then the way Prabhupada expressed it was that generally they'll at least get a human body. But it doesn't quite end there, because they've had prasadam and not just some nice food. So because they've had prasadam, you remember what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 40, right? Neha vikrananashosti prachavayana vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. That in this endeavor there's no loss, or diminution means reduction. Yes. And simply by a little advancement, one becomes protected from even the greatest type of fear, meaning to take an animal birth or a lower birth, meaning that one will get a higher birth, in fact. So even, when Prabhupada says at least you'll get a human birth, it's not just that, but you'll get the opportunity for Krishna consciousness, actually. Yeah. This is how it works. So therefore, for example, the people who came to your house a couple of nights ago, I'm sure some of them just, they're not aware of these types of things at all. But it will have, but I heard they were enjoying the prasadam. Yes, which is very good. So they will get further opportunities in the future, at least. In some occasions, a person just taking prasadam once, even unknowingly, may just go back to Godhead. It's possible. But in other cases, if they don't, then, and they take birth again, but the whole sort of, their whole future will have changed. Yes. Because Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. That's explained in the first chapter of Nectar of Devotion, the first full chapter. That Krishna consciousness is all auspicious, not just partially. Yeah. So it'll happen in some cases that immediately they may just go back to Godhead. In other cases, they'll take birth again because, in general their lives are just sort of materialistic. But there'll be this special element which will enter the picture of their lives. And like for some of us, we were living ordinary types of lives. And suddenly, bang, something amazing happened. Yes. Not because of our cleverness, our intelligence, or because we arrange things like that, but just by mercy. So it's like that. So therefore, anyone who takes prasadam, even unknowingly, will get will in due course get Krishna consciousness. It may take some time, but they will get. So therefore, prasadam distribution is just an incredibly wonderful activity, and we should try and do it. And Srila Prabhupada, he insisted that we distribute prasadam. Yeah, he didn't like it if people who came didn't get prasadam. And I remember actually, not long before Prabhupada left this world, it was sort of something like in the middle of 1977, Prabhupada sent out a letter as like a general announcement to every temple in the whole movement, saying that in every temple in the movement, he wants the devotees to have a team of devotees who will prepare some sabji, puri, some sweet, and have it available all day for guests who come. And Prabhupada said, even if nobody comes, because sometimes nobody comes some days, Prabhupada said there'll be no loss because our devotees can eat it. Yeah. But I remember that coming out. You know, of course in those days there was no email, no SMS. Can you believe there wasn't even WhatsApp or Telegram? Yeah, so Prabhupada would make some announcement and it would be sent out by regular mail to like 100 temples, just like that. And it was every few weeks there was something like that coming from Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. ISKCON Petty Refrain. What's your son's name?
Tirtharaj.
Tirtharaj. Tirtharaj Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
It's his birthday today.
Oh, really? Oh. What do we say? Bon naissance, is it?
Bon anniversaire.
Huh?
Bon anniversaire.
Bon?
Anniversaire.
Oh, bon anniversaire. Bon anniversaire. Wow, that's wonderful. And look, you got such a nice t-shirt on. Did you get it for your birthday?
No, I got it another day.
Okay. Anyway, you got a great t-shirt. We must give you a present. Anyway, congratulations. Bon anniversaire.
Thank
Oui? And how old are you?
you. 7.
7! You're getting old. You're getting old faster than me. Okay. What would you like for your birthday?
Blessing.
Okay. Come here. Hare Krishna. May you become a great devotee and lover of God, and very happy devotee, and help many people.
Okay.
Okay. And help mum and dad.
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's a cake
good on
garage.
you.
Gâteau.
Oh, look at this, un gâteau. Pour tout. Look at this gâteau. It's a super duper gâteau. What do you think we should do with it?
Cut it.
Oh, okay. Whoops. Do we have a plate? Can I cut it for you as a service to you?
Okay.
Okay. Wow, it's a soft cake.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Now what should we do with it, Tirtharaj Prabhu?
We cut it into small pieces.
Oh, okay, but first of all we got one big piece. Shall we feed it to you?
No, we have to cut it.
Oh, okay. Can I take a bite?
Okay.
Okay. Mmm. 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 It's very tasty. Would you like to take a bite?
No, thank you.
Oh, he said yes.
Yes.
Take a good bite.
Haribol!
Good boy. You are a good boy. Look at this. It's amazing. So actually, you know what you should do? Someone should cut it, that's a fact. But you should then distribute it, because it's your birthday. Cool. Is it okay? Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Tirtharaj Prabhu. And you know, I want to